these days I always want to highlight persons who have done great things for this country, who are not politicians. You know, and this weekend then death was announced of Dr. Ejekum Adu of Kama. And also Clement Ike Korte Sr.
The one who won us the silver.
Yes.
In the Commonwealth.
60 games.
In 1960. That's Ike Korte Sr. brother. He was 86 in London.
So they are brothers?
Yes, passed away in London. So for me, again, I think Dr. Jekumado, when we talk about people who have done things for this country,
Enterprise.
I mean, he's done so much for the pharmaceutical industry and just business in general. He's somebody that we should take note of. And then Clement Korte, we should have a statue of Clement Korte somewhere in this country.
This is Ike Korte
Senior. For a country that struggles to win Olympic medals.
This is 1960.
The person who won you a silver medal at the Olympics in Rome, in 1960
died quietly without any fanfare.
Any fanfare, you know. And perhaps because people think he, but what he did for boxing and his stature, if we did things properly and if we held people to the correct kind of praise that they should get, Clement Ike Korte is an icon.
This is 1960.
Yes.
Rome Olympics.
Yes.
This was a silver.
Yes.
In what weight division?
He was a lightweight.
Lightweight, yes.
And his Ike Korte, I didn't know he was related to him.
Yeah, that's his big brother. He's Ike Korte Senior.
Okay. I just thought they were, wow.
You know,
that was quite interesting.
Yes. So this morning, I just want us to also take note of these persons.
Do we have a sports hall of fame in Ghana?
For what?
Why don't we have it?
For what?
To celebrate accomplishment, to inspire nationalism. A country must celebrate its heroes.
No, we don't have
No,
anything.
if you say we shouldn't only celebrate politicians.
Yes.
Clement Ike Korte is somebody who ought to be celebrated.
Clearly.
Herman Chinery ought to be celebrated. Michael Ejekum Ado ought to be celebrated.
Clearly.
You know, I was this weekend I went to a funeral at Latte.
Yes.
So I couldn't go for the Herman funeral. But I saw photos and a video that really touched me. His Kwaboche people sang
the school anthem.
And you know, a school anthem, okay, I think it's a school song, right?
Yeah.
So usually school songs are supposed to talk about what the school will do, but it made a lot of sense hearing them sing it and putting Herman's name there.
Yeah.
It was so powerful. Like, I think for all the saints who from their labors rest, who thee by faith before the world confessed, right? And then there was a verse they sang, and the guy sort of put, I think this is the I think it's the fourth or the fifth verse, I'm not sure now, right? But they sort of, the sixth verse, they put his name in the song and the guy wrote it on Facebook. It was so moving, right? Because it's basically a song about people who have labored and gone to the other side, who will remember for what they did, who will be rewarded in the afterlife for the contributions they made, you know. And I was so moved by the song because Herman, you know, Herman is a pioneer in many ways. So you talk of his accomplishments in many fields, and I'm not going to do a full thing on Herman, but just as the first mover in technology, all right, programming, creating solutions for many things, whether it's for security in your house, for managing the government payroll, for reducing corruption in the public sector, all kinds of things, and then finding a way to do it in a native way, and then replicating it in many African countries, so Sierra Leone, Liberia, even Ethiopia and other places. And of course, typically, because he's not a politician and he's not a larger-than-life political figure, so it's almost like it's a muted celebration. A lot of people went for the funeral, though. I think part of this problem is also we, the media and the writers. All right, the public space. So sometimes we say we only celebrate politicians, but I think that it's on us. So like you, all right, you're a prominent voice in the sports field. There should be conversations about Ike Korte Senior, irrespective of what the politicians choose to do. So we can say, for those who love their boxing, the guy who hosts the boxing show on GTV can dedicate a week to Ike Korte Senior, even if there's no video of him. All right. So we in the public sphere, because the challenge is that the public sphere is weak in terms of course, people need food to eat, right? People need roads to be fixed. So sometimes you can't discuss, but you know, you cannot build a country where accomplishments of people like
Clement
Ikote
Ikote
Senior
Senior,
and Herman
Ejekumado.
are not
Recognized.
and celebrated in a way that people can remember.
Yes.
Do you get it? And I think it's our collective failure. I don't think it's just a political thing. Politicians will celebrate who they want, right? So they will mention the name of the people they admire because they've done things in the political space and they've been seen nationally. But I think sports journalism fraternity, for example, Swag Awards, right? Maybe in the next edition they should have a special thing on equality.
Yeah, sometimes, Bernard, I just think that it's also the state and what it can do. So we have Starless 91 Road.
Yeah.
I live on Clute Robertson Road.
Good.
Clute Robertson, legendary boxer as well. So, but the thing is, very few people might actually get to know of Clute Robertson Road because it's an inner town road. There's not inner city, inner town. This is down somewhere inside, one lane named after him. But that's also because that's where he lived.
Okay.
So those of us who grew up there will know that. This was because I lived next door to him.
Is there Jones Atukufio Road in Ghana?
Not that I am aware of. You understand?
But that road from First Light towards his house
could be named after him.
Because Atukufio took her to folk to I mean, we saw what he did in 2001.
Yes.
That Ismail Ado team, that Atukufio is a legend by every stretch of the imagination.
There is an Agostino Neto road. If I'm to ask your basic Ghanaian student who Agostino Neto is, they will look at my face and say, why? But he has a road named after him in the heart of Accra.
I think it's a revolutionary song.
Yes, but he has a road named after him in the middle of Accra.
So Atukufio doesn't have a name road. Ikote Senior doesn't have a name road after him.
You see, so what Ikote Senior did, not this in this era, post that he won Commonwealth gold.
In addition to
the Olympic silver. From by 1980 there should have been a statue of Clement somewhere. Dr. Ejekumado, because he had been around.
One of the pioneers.
People tend to take for granted. But when he put up the Kama Conference Center,
a lot of events were happening there. There was nothing like
that. There was nothing like that.
Yes.
At that point, you could have to queue for 3 weeks.
And he was also one of the few businessmen who decided to tell their stories.
Yes.
So not only was he successful, a couple of things. In pharmaceuticals, there's now a lot of pharmaceutical companies owned by Ghanaians doing well. He was one of the first movers.
Yes.
Then he took the trouble to educate people about how he made his success. So it's a very important figure as well.
Let's remember these people. That's all I'm saying.
Every opportunity I get, how should we remember them? That's the question, right?
I will highlight it.
I think while we talk about all of that and how to remember them, I think we should solve this problem.
Which problem?
And then, the problem about reading to you. If we are able to address these problems, then we can better immortalize these people. This is the wife of Herman. A tribute.
Okay.
A section of the tribute. Let me read that. Despite the joys in our personal life, the past few years have not been easy for you, as you have had to fight so many battles, whether to ward off land encroachers, to defend your intellectual property rights, or to secure payment for services rendered by the soft tribe.
Oh Lord.
We who are close to you shared your frustrations and looked on helplessly at your energy being sapped by litigation in court and endless meetings to seek intervention from various quarters, none of which yielded anything helpful, as the false balances still remain. This made you disillusioned in Ghana, or with Ghana, and led you to find other pastures from which to do what you did best: dream, innovate, and inspire. It is my fervent hope, prayer, and belief that justice will come to you posthumously.
Oh, Charlie. Can you repeat the 3 things? The litigation, unpaid, there were 3
land, litigation, and intellectual property.
So he was fighting these battles silently, we didn't even know.
Exactly. So, a lot of people keep their faith in Ghana because of what it promises. But for those promises to be delivered, there are institutions of state, the people, and those who lead, who must deliver certain promises to us for those promises to materialize. I mean, why would a brain of this size be fighting to protect his intellectual property while institutions that should intervene to ensure that that happens are watching on, as we are told by this tribute? Because we have heard repeatedly the obligations of the state to protect rights like this. If someone sits in his room, thinks for hours, and produces something, the expectation is that the influence of the state will be brought to bear to ensure that people do not encroach. But in some cases, the state are partisan players in these matters and undermine people's innovation, creativity, and all of that. And talk about payment. Bernard, one of the biggest things undermining innovation in this country, people's industrious contributions to our life, is the failure by, in many cases, the state itself. So that payment for contracts that people have executed is sometimes done on partisan basis. Or in some cases, people just don't want to look at it. I mean, a man of his size, given all the contributions he's made to our growth, why should he be fighting state institutions for payments to be made to him? Why should that be the case? You have signed a contract that you want ABCD done. It is not that the job hasn't been done. The job has been done. Then someone decides as to when to pay or not to pay. Look at that. And the problem of land in this country. I mean, people want to make investments. The chiefs are not helping us. In some cases, the lawyers are not helping us. We, the lawyers, we are part of the problem. In some cases, the courts are also part of the problem. Then you have elders in the families who are also contributing to the problem. So when you hear Nanama say that, Charlie, in Ghana, everything will kill you.
Yeah.
To a large extent, you have got to agree. Because for all you know, it may well have been the will of God. But perhaps maybe this is not the time for him to go.
You know the funny thing here? Beyond Herman's travails as written by this, there's also a lot of discussion about Kama himself.
Bernard, so
Because there was a post about an interview he did before he died where he spoke about how the banking sector cleanup and the debt exchange
Wiped
had
him out.
encumbered his money and almost wiped him out.
Bernard, before I bring listeners up to speed on exactly what he said, just to say a little bit about him, because, and this is how I got to meet him. I was in school, O'Reilly Senior High School, for one of our speech and prize
giving days.
Thank you very much. And he was a guest speaker.
Okay.
At the time, I was the school prefect.
Wonderful.
After my speech, he said I was very talented. He was touched by what I did. And so during my holidays after high school, I was interning with him.
Wow.
So I was literally his mentee. I was in his office.
Secondary school
student.
Oh.
Yes.
Powerful.
So he'll be traveling around, be giving speeches. I'll be emceeing his programs. I was always at the Kama Conference Center. He would put teachers together. He was someone who loved to teach people. He loved to share his knowledge. And so a lot of young business people have encountered him because he always opens his doors to young people, always sharing ideas. And he was big on talent, the left brain and the right brain, why parents should encourage their children who are artistic, creative to get into that. Encourage basically, you know, he was very much a hands-on teacher. He was an inspiring man. Great guy.
Had you kept in touch with him?
Yes. In fact, we met not too long ago at DTI, where he came as one of the industry people. I introduced him, spoke about him, and he was so happy and proud. He says anytime he hears us on radio and TV, he's so excited.
He did his PhD.
Yes.
On a very interesting topic.
Yeah. He mentioned that he's written a book about 400 pages. So if he at 70 can do that, then more young people can also do this.
So this interview you gave about the economic crisis and how it affected him, was it like to a media house?
Yes, and it was a sit-down interview. No, it was a book launch. There was a book launch. Founder of Kama Group of Companies, Nana Dr. Michael Ejekum, in March this year, bemoaned how his finances took a nosedive after the financial sector cleanup exercise. He said,
Where are you reading from?
this is online.
Credit the page. So that
Adum.
Okay.
Yes. This one says that I am a pensioner and all my money, I must confess, the money that I take care of my pension has been taken over by the banking club. Goes on to say that he shared a personal account of the financial challenges he faced during a book launch at Academic City College in Accra on March 28. He revealed that as a pensioner, the savings he had accumulated over 30 years of his retirement were affected by the cleanup, leaving him able to support initiatives he values, as the book being launched. Quote, I'm a pensioner and all my money, I must confess, the money I have saved for my pension has been
My
pension, thank you, has been taken care of my my
You think
person.
he's reading?
Yes.
Okay, I'm reading as I'm saying.
I
Sorry.
think the people wrote that made a mistake.
Yes.
Okay.
He's
For that.
reading as seen.
I've been taking. So I don't have the money to support such a wonderful book. And if I tell you how much for over 30 years to my position now, you will weep for me.
It's okay.
So I think that
Yeah.
Sky is talking about some of the issues Herman fought before he died. Caleb is raising the points about karma and challenges he's faced.
If
I'm very sure
I am to tell you about
reporting-
Clement Ike Senior too, and why he lives in London,
He wasn't really mean here.
no, he lived in London.
So what's the thread we're seeing here? People who have done well for the country, but you can see the state has not really done
because the
anything
state
for them.
does not remember who these people are. To be honest with you,
You sure?
the state does not remember who you are.
How do you rank? Okay, let me ask a question. What qualifies a person for a state burial? As an example,
Clement Ike deserves a state burial.
because he got a silver in the Commonwealth.
Clement Ike, it should not even be a conversation to be had.
He deserves a state burial. you say.
It is not a conversation to be had.
Beyond sports people, those of us in the industry know somebody like Herman did very well as a first mover.
You see,
How does the state rank achievement? Because I was somewhere when Google wrote, I think on his birthday,
Yeah.
Google put their doodle around him and
Yeah.
celebrated him. How do you rank achievement by people like Herman?
it's about the okay, Sky, go ahead.
How do you rank it?
I think there are things lawyers refer to as facts speaking for themselves.
Okay.
I don't want to use the legal, In other words, if you look at the tech space today, where it was before he intervened as the man who actually shaped where we are going, I mean, can you say that there is any clear rival? I think it's obvious. The new world today, the new revolution happening around the world is within the tech space.
And he was the first mover in the private sector.
Exactly.
You could say, you could say maybe Nina Kukweno, who's still alive,
Yeah,
did
that's
a
right.
lot of work as well there.
That's why Kofi, Datsi and Co are
No,
also...
they are new.
They are
so
new.
I'm talking of for real. I think for real pioneers, I use Ninaku because of his computer science background, the program he did, and some of the relationships he brought. But I think Herman, you're right, is the quintessential. What's the word to use? I need a
He's
good
a
word.
pioneer. I mean,
Good, that's the word. He's a pioneer in that space for tech and monetizing it
Exactly.
and bringing solutions to problems using technology.
Yeah, so there is clarity around that. And the state that wants
No, there's clarity in my head, but I'm not sure the state has he been given a state award before.
I think so, yes. I think
One of
I
the
think that
order
makes
of
it-
the-
Yeah, that's right. I think so, yes. If my memory
Does the
serves.
state have a way of measuring that?
Is
Should
it-
there be? You see, what I'm trying to say is that beyond politicians who serve as presidents and ministers, and beyond sports people whose accomplishments are obvious, I think there should be a way in which the state can recognize excellence and achievement in various fields.
Yeah.
Do you get it? In a way that is sector agnostic. So you can say whether it's a farmer, an entrepreneur in pharmaceuticals, a technology pioneer, or
Educator.
a researcher,
Yeah.
or educate. You get it? There should be. And again, I come to the public sphere because sometimes the state may not do it, but we can force the state to do it. Because excellence is field defined. All right. So there are people in their fields who have done very, very well, but you may not even have heard of them. So we are here because we've heard of these three people because they've done things in the past. Maybe there are some scientists who's died, who's done some really great work. Only the people in the scientific community would know. So I am saying that we need to come up with a means of measuring contribution beyond politics. And I think we, the people in the media, must lead that discussion. Do you understand? Because the state doesn't have a mechanism for doing that, in my view.
No, Bernard. So the other countries that do it, do they have a mechanism for it? So, for instance, you know Jerry Hansen.
The
If I
musician.
mention Jerry Hansen,
Yes, Ramblers.
in this room,
Ramblers.
first musical president,
Ramblers, yes.
apart from the inner city road named after him, like Clute Roberts. How do we measure the greatness of Jerry? How does it? Would this country tell us that it is that road, wherever it is, that they used to? If somebody doesn't ask, oh, Daddy, who is Jerry Hansen?
But even Kwame Nkrumah, he took the World Bank to come and do a proper mausoleum. even Kwame Nkrumah, who is the primus inter pares, it took a World Bank grant to do something decent.
Hold on, last time we had a conversation.
Yeah.
When you were asking me about Abedi Pele. He's
Is
around.
there anything about Abedi Pele?
Abedi Pele today. Where?
Oh, Charlie.
Abedi Pele.
The part of East Legon that is referred to is
Abedi Pele is
unofficial. It's because his house.
He lives there.
Charlie, Ghana, we know
Abedi Pele.
We know the try. So you mean
Abedi Ayu Pele?
We don't even have an Abedi Pele memorial, museum,
What?
or anything.
Where?
Wow.
Then it means we don't celebrate people.
Abedi Pele.
Or we don't. Okay, maybe we are not there yet.
But that's what
meanwhile,
we are not
Have
there
you
yet.
been-
we are what we
Let
celebrate.
me be mischievous. Even just based on the Herman thing. Let me be mischievous. Have you been to the Ghana Digital Center before? Accra Digital Center.
Yeah, it's the name of politicians and ministers.
Look at the names they have put on the blocks there.
Because they are ministers of communication.
What have they done?
But it's the ministry money they used to do it.
But when we talk about tech development in this country,
Yeah.
who are those people?
Because they are former ministers.
But
So they just give it the name to their ministers.
but your son might go there one
But-
day
but-
and be looking at these names and
But
think that,
why has the sports ministry not done anything for these guys?
No,
or it's
but-
beyond sports.
yeah, no, you see, because the sports ministry would have to push with the state itself. But that is
But
if-
they are building AstroTurf. They should name some after them. They can't even have the. I mean, bro, let's take a break.
You know, Bernard, on that note, let me just move before you go on your break. Let me move that. Look, we just launched what will be transformational in this space, the 5G network.
Yes.
It is possible to call it the Herman network. It is possible.
I like
to-
that.
it-
I
it is
like- I like-
possible
I like-
to-
I like where your mind is
Yeah, that's
going.
right. Because we need to do
No,
some
but
of these things.
I think the fact that we don't even have a proper mausoleum for anybody except Kwame Nkrumah, we needed World Bank money
The-
after over 50 years to do it.
wait,
that
there
in
was-
itself,
There was one. There was one. Except that it was.
that's not a proper thing. I caught a senior, Herman Chinery Hesse, and then Michael Ejekum Ado. So you're saying, as for Ikote, at least we need a road for Ikote senior.
it doesn't have to be specifically that, but I'm saying that there has to be a way where people know who this person is just by looking at whatever it is that has been put up.
Okay.
Okay, at the moment, it's not enough.
There's nothing.
At the moment, it's not enough.
By the way, let's correct that. This is not Ikote Jr. who fought Oscar de la Hoya.
No.
because a number
This
of
is
people,
senior. This is what I'm saying, senior.
it's not you. People, Charlie, these days people don't know a lot of things, so we have to inform them.
Clement.
So, Ikote Jr. who fought de la Hoya, welterweight. He's alive.
Yeah.
He's okay. So he's not the one we're referring to. We're referring to this is a senior version. All right. So you are not going to specify, because Sky is saying that Herman, we should, for example, name some of maybe some network after him or something. He feels like that's a more fitting.
No, it's you see, my small thing on that is the state and its institutions should figure out what it means to contribute to the state and who is deserving of. You see, because like for instance, we've had a lot of these awards, order of the this, order of the that. All kinds of people have gotten in. We don't know exactly what it is they've done. Some too have actually done great things. But we need to be able to understand that. Look, the same way when I go elsewhere, they mention a name, I'm Ghanaian, but I still know who that person is. And you would find that, oh, okay, this is a monument to the legacy of this person. Either it's in the person's home state, home district, somewhere, but it's not hidden.
Yeah.
You don't have to struggle
To find out who this guy is.
find out who this person is. And I'm just saying that as a country, we need to do better in
Okay.
putting these things together.